All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and clean up our hamstrings using, mobility ball of your choice at home. So we're gonna let anatomy be our guide. So if we think about those hamstrings, they're basically coming from the back of the knee, really attaching right here at, this bony landmark that's basically your sits bone. It's kind of the bone you feel whenever you sit. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your tool, you're gonna follow that muscle all the way up to that sits bone, and then basically that's where you're going to anchor, and you're going to sit on it. Now, the idea is we're mobilizing this because it's sensitive in the first place. So we're always kind of taking first precaution, just taking a deep breath, exhaling, seeing if we can tolerate any of that load. Now, I can always modify my pressure all or on top of it. But the idea is, if I can breathe into it comfortably without catching my breath, then I can be more aggressive with it. So what I'll do is I'll start off by doing a nice little scrub from side to side. And I'm kind of just catching, right at that anchor point, I'm catching the inside and outside fibers. So you're catching a little bit of hamstring, a little bit of, your adductors. But basically I'm just kind of scrubbing it out, loosening it up, working a little bit of front to back, a little bit of side to side, 30 seconds to a minute. It actually feels pretty comfortable. Now at this point, what I'll do is I can even slide down a little bit further. So now I'm just off that anchor point. And so again, I can start to scrub this out as well. And I can go side to side. I can put as much pressure on there, as little as I want to. I can rotate my leg into internal external rotation. What else I can do is I can start to incorporate a little bit of this kind of knee extension, like I'm kicking my leg out. And so I'm not just kicking straight back and forth, I'm kind of changing the angle of where I'm kicking so that I'm catching additional fibers of those muscles. Now, I can be more aggressive and put a little bit of body weight on there. I can lean my elbow onto there while I do this stuff. So I can lean my elbow in here, kind of rock it side to side. I can do a kick, right? I can also start to pivot and shift my hips to catch a little bit more of the outside, or pivot and shift, catch a little bit more of that inside. So the idea is, we're kind of exploring, not just front to back, but kind of side to side in those different planes of motion that we actually move in. So I'll slide down to about the middle of the hammies. And at this point, it's really a lot of the same. I'm gonna start off by scrubbing it out, looking for any kind of tender hot spots, which you'll probably find right around the muscle belly for sure. If you find something interesting, you're just gonna basically give it a little bit of extra time on your schedule to clean it up. But then again, I can lean into this thing, I can breathe into it, I can start to do a little bit of motion where it's just more like an active pull across the mobility ball while I'm anchored on there. I can do kind of a combination of those things. So I can lean off to the side and kind of do a little bit of that kicking motion, put some pressure on here, lean into it. The idea is you just kind of exploring where you actually need to put in the work. Whenever I get to the bottom, I'm really not too worried about it going behind the knee. I'm gonna avoid pushing behind the knee. And the tendons come out on each side of your knee. So really I'm just kind of thinking coming just above the knee whenever I finish out. And for those, I'm really just pivoting off to the side because that's kind of where those tendons run anyways. So I'm pivoting off to the inside and outside, cleaning that up, and you're pretty much done. So I would focus on the problem side for sure, but I'd work other side just to explore, see if there's anything wrong on that end, and clean it up before it becomes a bigger problem.